I've lived in Orange County, California almost my entire adult life. So today, I'm gonna make some ribs in honor of that. I'm gonna be making Orange County ribs. So what are Orange County ribs, you ask yourself? Well, they've got a little bit of a special seasoning that I've come up with. Now, I don't think I'm the first to do this, but I want to give it a try on these ribs. These are 2 racks of St. Louis cut spare ribs. We'll be cleaning them up in a minute, getting the membrane off. But the rub we're going to be using is a 2-step process. The base rub, which is the one that I'm most excited about, is an orange rub. This rub consists of the zest of 1 fresh orange mixed into a 1.5 cups of brown sugar. So all those oils and flavors from the orange zest just sort of absorb into the brown sugar, and it smells and tastes amazing. That's going to be our base layer rub. On top of that, we're going to put a little bit of Famous Dave's rib rub. Then we're going to get it out on the Oklahoma Joe's Highland, and we're going to smoke it with a combination of pecan and peach wood. So let's get started getting these ribs ready. First thing I need to do is I need to get the membrane off, so let's flip these over. We're also going to clean it up if we need to. Got a little bit of a skirt here. It's a little bit left over. I'm not doing competition, but I want to clean it up a bit. This little meat here from the skirt, when you cut that off of the back of the rib, that's fine. It's good. Use it in beans. You can cook it up right now if you want. I'm going to save it. This rack looks pretty good. Don't need to do anything there. We just need to get the membrane off now. You've probably seen rib membranes removed 100 times. I did a video on how to do it. Put a link to it up here. I'm going to go ahead and remove these membranes on these racks of ribs, and I'll bring you back as soon as we're done. All right, the membrane's removed, but I want to show you that not everything always goes perfect for me. Take a look at the back side of this rack. When I inserted the knife under the membrane to loosen it so I could get my fingers under there, pull it up, grab it with a paper towel, pulled some meat off too, so we have some exposed bone here. Is that going to really matter at the end of the day? Well, this end of the ribs might be a little more fall off the bone than I like, but that's all right. We'll work with it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit this with that base layer of the Orange County rub. If you can see it here, it's brown sugar and orange zest, and the scent coming off of this is amazing. Orangey and sweet. It's just filling the space around me right now. I just took the lid off this. We made this yesterday, so that orange zest has been sitting in the brown sugar overnight, almost 24 hours, just letting those oils and those flavors get into the sugar. So let's start rubbing. Right, why aren't you using a binder? I don't use binders. I just prefer not to. Oh, that orange citrusy smell coming off this. Want to thank everybody who's been watching and who's been coming to the live streams, especially on Saturdays. I've been doing them around 11 in the morning Pacific time. And I've asked some of you to send in photos that I can show. You've sent in some amazing photos. So I do appreciate that. If you haven't come by the live stream yet, do it. Got some more great photos for this weekend. Now, of course, if you're watching this in the future, that may not mean much, but you can watch the replay of the live stream. All right, let's turn these over. Get some on the back side. Now that I've got the back side done, I'm going to hit this with some of that Famous Dave's rib rub over the top of that Orange County rub. Let's turn these back over. And with that brown sugar, you're going to get like a tacky, sticky, sweet coating on this. We're also going to be spritzing this with a 50-50 mix of orange juice and water today. And the barbecue sauce we're going to glaze it with later on. It's got orange in it. Well, we're going to put orange in it. All right, our ribs are rubbed. The orange is just coming off of these right now. I can smell it. It's amazing. We're going to let these sit for just about 10 minutes. The smoker is almost up to temp, and I'll bring you back when we take these out there and get them on the Oklahoma Joe's Highland. Okay, the temperature of the Oklahoma Joe's Highland is about 230 degrees. Perfect. I want to try and keep it between 225 and 250 today. Really don't want it to go above 275, but 225, 250 be sweet spot. So let's get these ribs on. So I have one water pan pretty full right next to the firebox side of the cooking chamber, and the second water pan at the opposite end near the smokestack. 2 water pans today should be fine. I won't add the third in there. Positioning these racks. kind of away from the firebox. So that's how we have our St. Louis ribs set up there to make these Orange County ribs today. I can still get that orange scent coming off of them. So we're going to close this up and we'll check the fire. Let's check the fire. I started out with a hunk of peach and a piece of pecan. It's time to add one more of each. Some pecan going there. I'm also going to shake down some of the ash. We're going to put our hunk of peach in there too. I have the side door on the firebox closed, but the damper fully open, and the smokestack is fully open as well. Fire's looking good. Let's close this door and start building back up to temp. Might be a little hard to see in this light, but we've got really good, nice, clean smoke coming out. Okay, we're heading back up into the temperature range we're shooting for after having that lid open and adding our wood. Once we're in that 225 to 250, I'm happy. Just going to work with the vents today, add wood. If I need to add charcoal, I will, but wood should probably do it. I've got my little portable fan blowing a little extra air in there to get these fresh pieces burning really good. I've got my pecan splits down there that I'll be adding as the day goes along. Got my peach chunks in my burlap bag. I used some post oak in a cook the other day, and I'm using the peach today, and both were birthday gifts from my brother and sister-in-law. So thank you. 217, moving up quickly. Still really clean smoke coming out of there. And it smells really good. That peach mixed with the pecan is an interesting flavor. I'm really curious to see how this is going to taste on the ribs. I know I love pecan and the peach smells really good, so I've never cooked with peach before, I don't believe. Cooked with pear, with plum, but not with peach. I'll bring you back when it's time to spritz in just about an hour. All right, we are an hour into this cook, and it's time to spritz these ribs with our orange juice water mixture. Ooh. They're looking really moist still. I want to keep giving that orange flavor on them. Interesting here, got this little bubbly thing. I think that's from the orange zest. That is interesting. It's very orangey. Yeah, just give a quick little taste of that. I don't know if you can see all the little orange flecks in there from the zest and that sugar that just got so sticky on there. Looks really good. We're an hour in, really only just starting to develop color. Got 2 more hours before we put these into a foil pan with all of our sauce and seal that with foil. So I'll bring you back when we're ready to foil these ribs. And we still have really good smoke coming. Nice clean smoke. We're almost at the 3-hour mark when we're going to be transferring these ribs into a foil pan that's going to be covered tightly with foil. And we're going to put some nice things in there on the ribs, including an orange barbecue sauce that we're going to make right now. Now, we're not making this from scratch. We're taking a standard store-bought barbecue sauce. In this case, I'm using a Casey Masterpiece Original. We're going to be doctoring it up with the juice of 1 orange and a little bit of lemon pepper. It's going to get all of this bottle into this bowl. Give it a little taste on its own. That's not bad. Got a nice sweetness in it. The orange is also going to add sweetness, but it's also going to add a little bit of tartness. Now we're just going to add that juice from our orange. We're going to grind up some lemon pepper in here. And mix it up. It's fairly thin, and that's what we want because it's going to be a glaze on these ribs in the foil pan. Let's give this a taste. Oh, nice. Oh, citrusy. I like that. A little bit of that tang, like I said, from that orange in there. All right, let's get this sauce out there and get these ribs in that foil pan so they can continue on to the number 2 portion of this 3-2-1 method cook. Okay, we are 3 hours in, and it's time to move these to the foil pan. Oh, I know with that sunlight it's hard to see, but these are looking really nice. Oh, already getting a good amount of tenderness in them. Look at that flex. This one too. Okay, let's move these over to the table and get these sauced up and covered. And close this so we don't lose too much heat. I'm fighting the flies here today. They want some of this too. So I'm gonna try and move quickly. First thing I'm gonna do is give this another spray of this orange juice water mixture. Really nice, generous spray. Now, brown sugar. This is just gonna dissolve in there. Give us a nice, sweet, sticky coating. Spread that around a little bit. Now it's time for our barbecue sauce, and I am just going to pour it before I spread it around. Oh, that looks so good. I'm just going to brush it in here with that brown sugar and everything. And if you're worried about the backside getting any of this, don't worry. There's going to be enough moisture in this pan that it's just going to seep around there and cover both sides. That just is amazing. I just want to eat some right now. Oh man. I'm going to add just a little more liquid in here. And make sure we've got plenty of moisture in this pan. And those ribs are showing a lot of tenderness for the amount of time. So I may do this instead of a 2. I may do this a 1.5 and check them. But I don't want them to be too tender. I mean, some people like falling off the bone. I prefer there to be some bite, not falling off the bone. But if they're falling off the bone, I'm not going to turn them down. All right, let's get these covered with 2 layers of foil. They're nice and tight, so we can keep all that moisture in there. All right, let's get these back on the smoker. Closed up so we can keep our temp. So for the next 1.5 to 2 hours, depending on how long I think it actually needs in that foil pan, I'm just going to be using charcoal, maybe a couple pieces of leftover hickory that I have, but I'm not going to be wasting any of the peach or the pecan on foil. Still shooting for that 225 to 250 during this part of the cook, and I'll bring you back when we open it up and see how tender they are. Okay, we are at the 1.5 hour mark in the foil. Total cook time so far of 4.5 hours. I want to check these because they were showing some pretty good signs of tenderness, a lot of flex in them, more than I usually get after 3 hours. So let's take a look. Okay, first of all, let's look at the bones. It might be hard to see in this light, but you got a lot of retraction on the bones right now. So now we're going to probe for tenderness too. Yeah, I mean, these are extremely tender. You could technically take these off right now, but I want to get them back on, get a little bit of tightening up with this glaze on there. So I'm going to transfer them back to the cooking grate in the Oklahoma Joe's Highland. See if we can get these without them totally falling apart. Whoa. All right, let's go. One there. Okay. So one thing I want to do is I want to get a little bit more of this glaze that's left in the pan here on these ribs. Just to get a little bit more of this barbecue sauce, that orangey flavor on these ribs. Now I can tell this has only got about 1/2 hour to go, so today these ribs are going to take about 5 hours instead of 6. That's just the way it is sometimes. So I'm going to close this up, let these finish tightening up, and then we'll get them off. Okay, we have had another 1/2 hour here where they've just been sitting and tightening up. I'm not even going to probe them because as tender as they were before, I can already tell they're done. I mean, just look at those. All right, we're going to get these off of here and hopefully they don't fall apart. Oh, these are tender. You can see the meat retraction from the bone there. Yeah, these for some reason cooked quick today, and the temperature was 225 to 250 the entire time. That's why you got to watch this stuff. That's why time is only a guide. You know, these are tender and it's 5 hours. Normally on a St. Louis rack, when I do them, it's about 6 hours. Let's get these in, cut into them and have a taste. So here we have one of those racks and they just, okay, I'm telling you we cheated. We already tasted some. My wife couldn't wait and so I had to taste one too, and I'm still going to taste it on camera. I didn't taste a lot. but they are good. But look at that meat retraction and just beautiful coloring. I was wondering, should I put some more sauce on them? But they don't need any more sauce right now. Maybe later if we're eating some more, but oh, they're just gorgeous right now. All right, let's cut into these so we can get a taste. All right, so I'm gonna go right here, right in here. All right, here we go. Oh, beautiful, look at that. Look at that. Just look at that. That is gorgeous. Just beautiful, wonderful smoke ring. You can see there right along the top. Oh, I can't wait to taste this for real. Not that little bite I had with my wife. I want to dive into this and tear this meat from the bone. So let's do that right now. All right, here we go. There we go. I mean, can you see that? Just beautiful, tender, juicy. All right. It's sticky. It's that candy-like consistency on the surface from that brown sugar and the orange. And I'm really looking forward to tasting the orange on this one. I already tasted it on the other one, but this is a bigger hunk for me. So here we go. Oh boy. Oh. Oh wow. Coming right off the bone. Not falling off the bone, luckily. I think I cut it just in time. If I had gone a full 3-2-1 on this, we would have been eating just meat out of a bowl. But look at that. Oh. It's going to be in my mustache for days, I can tell you. It's like a little rib popsicle. Oh, man. That orange really comes through with that brown sugar. And you know what? In that smoke ring, you get the pecan, but there's something else there. That's that peach. It's almost a nutty sort of flavor. I think the only way to know for sure is to cut another rib. I mean, I don't want to leave you all with a lack of information, so I got to go into that smoke ring again and see if I can narrow down that peach. There's a definite other flavor there, beyond that pecan. And it is a little nutty. Not nutty like crazy, you know what I mean, nutty. Again, perfect pull away from the bone when you bite. Perfectly tender, juicy as can be. All right, I'm gonna squeeze. Got some juice there? It's running down my fingers. I'm gonna have to go into my mustache and beard with a fire hose after this. Okay, we have complete bone separation. I'm going in straight for the meat right now. Here we go. I wanted to do something sort of to honor the county that I've spent most of my life in. Orange County ribs. I think these work. That orange brown sugar rub. Totally works. You got to make that. Zest of one orange, 1.5 cups of brown sugar, mix it together, leave it overnight in a bowl. You got yourself a really killer citrus rub. And one thing really to remember after watching this video is something that I had to deal with out there was it cooked faster than I expected. It didn't cook hotter. There weren't really any environmental conditions which should have influenced this. It was about 89 degrees today. That's not extra hot for this time of year here. But for some reason, these 2 racks of ribs, they cooked quicker. They got tender faster than other ribs I've cooked in the same situation. These were from cryo packs, so they should be nearly identical. The size was nearly identical. And yet they're both just as tender an hour early. Go figure. So that's why it's important to always keep checking your meat when you're cooking it. It might take longer to get tender, but there are those occasions when it can take less time. And if I would have left this on there that full time, I think I would have ended up with a little bit of mushy ribs. And I don't like that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to check out some of the other videos on my channel and consider subscribing. And if you do, click that bell for notifications. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great evening. I'll see you again soon.